Hi, this is Rebecca Cheney, and I'm explaining my final project for the visual literacy class in the summer EdTech team cohort. For my final project, I created an infographic explaining how to read ukulele tab. This is a concept that I usually teach to my 7th grade music students. It's a 9-week course, and it's one of the concepts that they have to understand in order to be able to read the music in their books. Their books are presented very similar to what you see in this image. I can zoom in a little bit for you, where they see their music, and then under it, they see this tab. And so that's what I was hoping to help them understand to read through this project. Usually I teach this concept before we get into our books. It takes me 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how quickly the students are able to comprehend the information. By making this infographic, my hope is to share this with them using Google Classroom. We are one-to-one Chromebooks, and having them look at this before they try and explore the music. I think that some students will be able to understand this pretty quickly just from looking at the images and the brief descriptions given on the infographic. I think other students might still not quite understand how to read the tab, but I'll be available to help those students understand those different aspects. So when creating this infographic, the first thing I did was I decided to use Canva, and I did a search for different templates. There were a lot of templates available for infographics. This is the one I chose to go off of, partially because I liked the font. I liked how clean and organized it looked, and I also liked the colors. After I chose this template as my backdrop, I wanted to find a picture of a ukulele that would work. The best way to show the students how to do something on a ukulele is to show it on an actual ukulele. So I thought having an image was important. And so I did a Google image search for ukuleles and searched for one that I could use non-commercially and was able to find this purple one. I thought that was really nice because the colors of the template were blue and red. So it was a nice combination of the two colors, and I feel like it ends up being pretty pleasing to the eye. There are no jarring colors, nothing distracting in the infographic. When I followed that link, I found that it was a free download that I was able to use, so that was an extra bonus. I used this image then to create all the other images for the infographic. I put it in a Google slide, and then I was able to manipulate the information I wanted. So whether I'm labeling where the finger goes or where the frets or the strings were, and I took individual screenshots. So on this infographic that was created, all of these images were created in Google Slides using screenshots. I tried intentionally to keep the explanations brief. For students that aren't very in-depth readers, they can look at this as a whole, see that they have to look at the 4 lines of the tab. They're right there. They can see that the 4 lines equal the strings. They can look at the numbers. The numbers equal the frets. And they can tell that this 2 being on the 3rd line means they put their finger on the 3rd string in the 2nd fret. The goal is that they can get it based on the images, and the text is merely there to help them interpret the images if they need it. As I mentioned, some of my students, I think, will look at this and they'll understand right away what to do. Other students, I think, will still need a little more one-on-one help, but I will be available to do that. I think it's also important that because I'm sure there will be students that understand this concept just from doing a skim over this infographic, they'll be able to help each other. And we want the classes set up where they're working with partners at all times. And so hopefully if somebody doesn't understand it, their partner does. But again, it frees me up so I'm available to help the students where necessary. In the end, I wanted it to be clean looking. I wanted it to be easy to follow. I didn't want any more clutter or words or images on the form than necessary. So I tried to keep it brief, and I tried to keep it clean, and I tried to make it so that it's very easy to follow the flow of the infographic. I'm hoping this will help my students understand this concept quickly so we can move on with our learning of the instrument. I met earlier through Google Hangout with Nancy Vasquez to go over hers as well, and she gave me some feedback on this project. And that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Thank you.